Hello, hello. Welcome to season 1, episode 1 of Mama's Healing. I am Lorraine, Lilo's former landlord. Take it away, ladies.
I'm Janelle, and I am a mother of two gremlins.
I'm Julia. Got one here and one on the way.
What?
Si, senor.
What? Was that your...
What?
Is that your announcement?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Can I
Congratulations!
sit on this? How long can I sit on this? And so here we go.
Oh my gosh, Julia!
Child, I'm not even in my little happy-go-lucky feels because this one that's here is all the energy I have. So I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what, little baby, you'll figure it out when you get here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! So you are moving to Texas before you have the baby?
I don't think so, but
What?
soon after, yes.
Oh
Girl,
gosh.
I got a midwife
Okay.
and a doula on lock.
Um,
Say the word. Come on down.
Very true, because that was one of the barriers. I was like, well, how do I reestablish
And
care?
there are people.
Yeah, so
And
yeah,
we
surprise.
can definitely help with babysitting, and when you need your rest because you have two babies, two under two.
Yeah, two under. Well, who am I?
How
I don't know.
how far?
I'm like 15 weeks and some change.
Oh
Oh,
my
you're
gosh.
past
You've
it.
been
Oh my
sitting
God,
on it,
this
girl.
is real. It's always been real, but like this is like you went through, you passed it, the mark. You're
Yeah, child, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, I'm just here, okay? I'm just here.
so your
Wild.
due date's like October?
No, the July 29th.
Oh shit, I'm way off.
Oh yeah, you can't be here in time.
I was like, in
Girl,
3 minutes.
come in May and just kick it.
Yeah.
And then you can go
That's
back.
so great, Julia. How's Lauren
Congratulations.
feeling?
We're both shocked. We're both like, what? Okay. Like we honestly, we don't have time to even contemplate,
To think about it.
pre-plan, nothing. It's gonna
Right.
pop out and we're just gonna keep on skipping.
Yep.
Are you hoping for a girl
No,
or
he's like
it
okay.
don't matter?
I don't want a girl. It's too much. I'm already a lot. I couldn't imagine another one. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait for it to be a boy. But every single person has been like, I bet it's gonna be a girl. I'm like, shut up. He thinks it's gonna be a girl too, but
I hope it is. That would be so cute. We have enough boys. I'm
no.
done.
But we don't have like we need to train up these boys. Like there's enough. There's enough out there. Ugh. No. Me, little Julia, a little Julia. You know how rude I was?
That would be
You know how
so
rude I am?
In mind, we are a new generation of parenting, so this little girl will be in great hands and
hmm
so many beautiful, strong, independent role models.
Yeah, y'all could take her when she's screeching. Okay?
Ah.
Because it's gonna be often. I still be screeching.
That's so great. I'm so happy for you. It's crazy, but the more the merrier.
I'm so happy.
Oh, I'm so yeah.
I can't wait to tell Curtis. He's gonna be so
Yep.
excited.
We really are like in a daze. I'm just like, I don't know. My body and my
Yeah,
mind are two completely
Yeah.
different things.
it's not gonna hit you to actually have it moving inside of you. Because I
Yeah.
swear I had the belly, but I was like, eh.
I know. I was
Until you
like, I'm
start feeling
eating a lot of enchiladas.
it's gonna go by
Man.
quicker because River's gonna still keep you busy.
hmm
It's gonna go by quick.
This
It's
child,
probably going quick for you already. Holy crap, man.
I mean, yeah. When did you find out? Was it pretty right away, or?
late.
Oh,
I
really?
found out. I think I found out at like 12 weeks. I was like, I'm puking a lot.
Oh, you just found out. I thought she
Oh
was
wow.
waiting.
No, I was like, I don't feel right. I've been throwing up. Let me take some tests. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like that person who's like, nah, those tests are contaminated. They're from the same batch, false positives. So I went and bought like a new pack. I was like, let me buy some from somewhere else. I took 4 tests. They were all positive. I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, I don't believe it.
So wait, have you gone to the doctors yet?
Yeah. So I went, when was it? January? Oh God, what month is it now? Yeah, the first week of January is when I went. And so I was like, okay, here we go. Mm-hmm.
And
It's just one baby? There's not 2 in there?
Yes, just one.
okay.
Just want to make sure.
Just throw that out there.
Just checking. I don't even
One boy. I'm probably gonna be
Oh man, this is great news.
Mom's gonna be so excited for you, girl.
Yes.
I am not excited for me. I'm like, ooh, I was in a lot of pain and also sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? I mean, the kids are getting old.
Like,
I could stick away to you for a week or something, take care of you. I'd be happy to.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need it. Yeah.
All 17 of them. Yeah,
Great.
shock. I thought I was gonna have to be back on meds to have the second one, so we were all shocked. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's how the first time happened, right?
Yeah, I was on meds for like a year.
Wow. Maybe you just needed that reset.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Were you guys trying though, or
I mean,
were you
we've never
preventing?
like prevented anything, like our, the majority of our relationship. So I'm like, well,
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I guess.
You're
Yeah, right.
Ain't preventing shit over here.
But yeah, so hi.
Yeah, that's great.
Great announcement. I just want to say that was great. I was like, why is she playing with our feelings right now? I was waiting for her to be like, just kidding.
LOL. I don't play like that. Yeah, I'll show you guys the sonogram pictures after this.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes. Okay. Okay.
That's a quick little intro.
Great introduction. So let's okay. So Mama's Healing, right? Obviously, we are all mamas. We're here just to kind of like build community. Like, we already know each other. Janelle's my sister. Julia is our sister. Janelle's best friend since what? Middle school?
6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
6th grade. Yeah. So runs deep. And yeah, just kind of want to be able to talk it out, right? Have an outlet because shit sucks.
Motherhood is lonely.
And lonely. And sometimes it's like, sometimes it's cute, but it's just a nice way to kind of lay it all out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And any excuse to like talk and like have people listen to me, I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Truly.
I'm still the opposite.
Oh yeah.
I feel like for me, the biggest push for us doing this like podcast, this group situation, was like to have a creative outlet. I feel like everything we do is so wrapped up in motherhood anyways, that it's nice to have kind of a way to still be wrapped up in motherhood, but have like an outlet that's yours.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited to be here.
And healthy, right? Because
yeah,
it could easily be like a bottle of wine a day.
Child, who you telling?
You can't drink anymore.
I know. I'm like, oh God. You know what I want? A wine. Just want some wine.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh.
But I'm still drinking caffeine. Sorry, I can't. I was like, you can't take all my meds, alcohol, everything. I need something.
I kept drinking coffee. I had a cup.
Yes.
A cup a day don't hurt nobody. Yeah.
And I would look at the milligrams of caffeine in like certain like powder energy drinks. I'm like, okay, this is like the equivalent to a cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Once you look at the numbers, you're like, it's not that deep.
No.
People are like, you can't have coffee. I'm like,
I mean, I can, and I am.
As you.
Speaking of, glug, glug, glug. It's mostly
Girl.
creamer, don't worry.
Love it. All right. Okay. So, do we want to include anything else? Sorry, I shouldn't be checking my phone. Do we want to include anything else for our intro?
I think maybe I wouldn't mind like hearing more about like, because Janelle, you said 2 gremlins, but I don't know if you feel like talking about their ages or, you know, anything like that.
Okay. I have a 9-month-old now and a 2-year-old, Emmett and Jensen. Emmett's the oldest, and then Jensen's the youngest. Yeah, they're still alike but so different. Jensen is a ball of giggles and joy, and then Emmett is mischievous and sneaky as fuck. But they're so great, and they love each other, and I just love that bond already at such a young age. And Emmett really took to him and kind of had that nurturing attitude towards him. So I think that was just it makes me feel better about them growing up and having them so close together, because it's a handful, but it's totally worth it, because I think they will be very close when they're older, and they'll be able to connect and communicate in a very great way. So yeah.
I love that.
I just want to say for the record, Emmett is a Capricorn, and it shows. And I think that's why Jensen is so nice, because he's not.
What is Jensen?
He's a Taurus.
The Taurus, right. Yeah.
But I think River is a Capricorn too.
He is. And that's why he was giving me side eye. I was like,
he's so crazy.
So River, Emmett, Lilo, all Capricorns. All
How about Curtis?
Capricorn.
Yeah, so he's
Capricorn.
Okay, I'm a Virgo and Lauren is a Cancer. So I don't even know. It's a lot happening in this house.
Yeah.
So many different personalities.
Yeah.
And I'm a true Virgo. He's a true Cancer. This baby is a true Capricorn. I'm like, okay, but it doesn't have to be your way. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
What's his face was a Scorpio. It's a Scorpio.
Yeah, and that shows too.
A little stinger at the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting information.
Explain a lot now, no?
So I have my little munchkin. He's a year, just turned a year. Lilo. Got my hubby at home, Curtis. And yeah, we just out here trying to survive. And I got 2 on ice.
Yes. Just waiting. Chilling.
Both in there and just pop them out at the same time. Let's just get this going.
Exhaustion.
If I had a guarantee home birth, yes, knock it out. But I ain't trying to play with that.
Child, I don't know, because my emergency C-section, looking back, I'm like, I should have just started there, because this I was like, I've been here all my life, and now you just get to cut me open and just snatch the baby out? Like, what?
So that's actually going to be our topic. So tighten up.
Tighten up.
Poor choice of words.
Yeah, I'm Julia. I have a 1-year-old. I'm always like, he's over like a 1-year-old. He's like, oh, he's technically 13 months. But I hate doing that. But I'm also like, but he's not one. Like, y'all need to understand that he's just like not one. So yeah, him, and then my husband Lauren, and yeah, we're just here. That's it.
Love that. Okay. Let's do a quick check-in. Where are we emotionally? It's Saturday. I have work tonight, so emotionally, I'm not here for it. I'm already like, I'm good all week, and then as soon as Saturday comes, I'm like, why do I have this job? But
I
I'm
know.
good.
Just
I
be
just don't.
poor, live under a bridge.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, Julia, that just shut up. Be grateful for what you have. Go to work. Like check-in wise, emotionally, I think I'm actually very excited today. um, I've been looking forward to this, so it's got me all hopped up. So I'm doing good.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired just from the late nights with the boys, but I feel good. I feel centered, and yeah, the day has started off really well.
That's right.
I love that.
Both boys are gone. Peace.
Mama's got a minute. You could take a nap if you want. Oh my God.
Yeah, be nice. And then I
Yeah.
get to my homework.
Whew.
Yeah.
Naps are delicious. Okay. Lauren, how are you feeling?
I already checked in.
Oh, okay. Emotionally?
I'm good.
Oh.
It's like I have to go to work, so that's what I'm like thinking
Oh
about.
yeah, yeah.
I
Oh.
do that.
Why did my brain put that like 5 minutes ago?
All right. Okay. Let's do a quick, I mean, it doesn't have to be quick. Pop culture, because we were talking about it last week. There has been some time span, but I can't let it go without being mentioned.
Yes. Honorable
Did you
mention.
guys listen to Janelle, the most recent The Read episode? It was like okay, at this point, not the most recent one, but the one before the live show. It was like a play-by-play of Meg and Nicki, and I am just like,
It was great. It was
it
great.
was insane. They dedicated a whole episode.
It was
The
great. I
best.
was okay with that. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
please, thank you more.
I was like, oh, it's just the first 30 minutes. And then as I finished, I was like, this was a whole fucking episode.
2 hours later. Yeah, it was amazing. And on point. Everything they said, I was like, facts. Yes. Nikki, stop showing your ass and being a mess. Stop.
Yes. Like, and she was barely talking. Like, low key, she wasn't even talking to her. It's
That's
like, girl.
thank you. That's why she's like, girl, I don't know what the problem is. Like, you don't want this. I'm talking to all your homies.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, yes. So based on that, I really do think that Megan was taking shots at Drake, hardcore, real curvy, no
Yes.
edging,
Why?
fake,
I
fake accents.
why Drake? What did he do?
I feel like I don't know what he did, but
He's
I think
mentioned
him
in
and Partis.
songs
He
talking
what?
about Yeah, he put in his songs that she's lying, like talking about lying about Tory Lanez and all that shit. Like people have been very vocal about their ignorance. So
And truly, I've been done with Drake for a while because
thank you.
I had my good eye on him, and then he kept acting up. So I was like, you know what? I've had enough. But I
Mhm.
really think that he couldn't say something without acknowledging the fact that some of those lyrics were accurate. And so he's like, hey, Nikki, since you're our puppet, go make a diss song. And it was terrible.
Aw,
Terrible.
awful.
And again,
Like
it was like,
So
again,
wait,
this, sorry. Janelle's like, what
sorry,
are y'all, where am
you
I
I?
didn't listen, and that's my fault. But I remember you told me, Rainy, that Megan was like talking about everybody, but
Mhm.
Nikki was not.
She made a whole, what was it, like 2-3 minutes. So my understanding, because I'm not on Twitter, is that
Oh
her
yeah.
and her little Twitter little warriors or whatever, like spew rumors about Meg, basically. And she just took a bunch of tweets and put it on this song. But it's like old things. It's not, basically, it wasn't lyrically impressive. It wasn't anything. Because, like, yeah, like, no one wants to hear like shit about someone they like, but if it's good, like if
Thank
the
you.
flow
I
is
was like, I
good,
will
it's
give
good.
credit. I will give credit where
Yeah,
credit is due. But
but it
this
was
was
just
ramblings. It was
very.
like nonsensical.
And it's like she
Okay.
waited 3 days, was hyping it up, and then when you hear it, it's like, okay, this is what we waited for.
This
Is that the one
garbage.
that's like #1 though?
Yeah, but that's just. But I
It's
think
her
it's mostly
fans.
that everybody wanted to hear what it was.
Yeah.
Got you.
But
But
it was one.
Megan's
But now,
song,
huh?
Megan's song, Hiss, I listened to that at no less than 8 times a day. I'm like, you know what I need? I need to hear the song.
Okay.
It's so well done. She just
Hmm.
has that it factor. And I think Nicki knows that. And the stuff, the dirt that they have on her, oh, you augmented your body. Okay, Nicki, so did you?
Hmm.
Like, what? Where are we
Everyone
going?
does.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's
I was
supposed to
like,
like if it makes you feel good and it's not hurting anyone, like why do you care? You
so
know?
I'm like, why are you gonna try to like make it seem like she's like, oh, she augmented her body, y'all, but then literally walking around like you
With
didn't.
the same. Or
Same
talking about
scars.
like, oh, she's having sex with everybody, and it's like, and she even said in the song, she's like, I came out shaking my ass talking
With
about
my titties out.
fucking
So
people, like, duh, like it's like you're trying to hurt me, but it's like,
I also think the reason that they had to go in is okay. Partisan Fontaine and Megan were dating for a while. And then according to her, she walked in and he was getting his dick sucked where she was supposed to be sleeping. And
yes,
according to him, he's like, oh, you're a beautiful girl, but your soul is disgusting. And we're like, but in the same song, you said you were going to marry her. So, anyways, but he is a ghostwriter for a lot of people. I think he wrote WAP. He wrote, he has another song with Cardi B.
yeah,
I think there was so he writes the hits. And I really do think that when it's Heartbreak Drake era, I think it's all partisan because
mm,
that is very much his like zhuzh.
yeah,
So I think again there was a lot of like underneath stuff that Nicki had to deal with because when you look at it, like she didn't say nothing about Nicki. Like she did, but again,
yes, but like
it's not
also
like
there are so many people that could have applied to the Megan's Law line, so many people. But
most of
she's
the
she's
entertainment
feeling the
industry.
type of way because she decided to lay down with oh boy, knowing his history and how public it is. That's on
And
you.
again, it's not the first time, Nicki. Like this could apply to your husband, your brother.
Mm.
And then I did okay, so on the read they brought up the fact that when she's like Roman, that alter ego, it's that like pedophile.
Roman Polanski.
I had no idea.
Me neither. Roman's Revenge. I was like, oh, okay, that's cute.
I
Mm-mm,
used to
mm-mm.
love that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, oh,
And that's the thing, the fans are gonna eat it up, especially the Nicki fans. Good lord, they're
like they
like the
truly.
worst beehive. And the beehive's crazy.
Yeah.
But
But it's like, I think it's because like she is just like consistently awful and they still ride for her. Beyonce minds her business
thank
and they're
you.
just crazy. Like that's different, but
Yeah.
you see
But
that
you
she's
named yourself
garbage.
after a pedophile, a known pedophile? It's not even like
I
it's just
understand that.
suspected.
Yeah.
I was
Mm-mm.
like, girl, you're and okay, so when you told us to like listen to the read and blah blah blah, I started doing my due diligence and I went down a rabbit hole. And I really feel like this Megan song reminds me like the same energy as the Cat Williams interview. Like very much like we're gonna fucking air it out 2024.
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk about it? Let's motherfucking talk about it. And I just loved that. So then I went back to Sheether by Remy Ma,
Yep.
and I was like, So I forgot about a lot of the stuff on Sheet There, good Lord. But it was very much like the same setup. Oh, we're going to talk about the body augmentation, the people that you slept with, the friends that you fucked over. It's like the same exact thing that Nicki did
Mm-hmm.
in relation to Megan. So I'm like, this y'all ain't even original with it. Like, please. I
Like,
was
we've
so
done this
annoyed.
too many times. Too many times.
And Charlemagne the God was like, he's like, obviously Megan's the winner. but then but then he's like, Nicki, you were on Twitter for a week and then you dropped this.
Yeah, and that's what got her is the anticipation. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so good," da, 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 da. And it's like, I could have did better than that.
There's like literally 2 bars of her being like whispering and being like, okay,
And
I'm
do
like
the weird voices, and then she just
asking
keeps
the
repeating the same line. It's like, girl,
we get it. Her mom is dead. Yeah, we know. Like,
yeah,
oh yeah, she talked about that.
yeah, it was not a good
It
response.
was
Like,
it
she
was
could have
not.
just sat home and stayed and sat with that. But yeah,
Ooh, but that
I
got me
love
hyped. I
Meg.
was hyped for 2 weeks. I was like, yes. I loved it.
Oh, that was good. I'm glad we got to talk
Oh,
about that because I was like, hmm?
one more thing. If y'all haven't seen the music video for his, just watch it.
Yeah, is it good?
She's like perfect and amazing and gorgeous. And she was like tied up and still shaking her ass. I'm like, Megan, gold.
She never disappoints. Love her.
Never. She's like, I'm just trying to fuck my man in peace. Like, please.
Right?
Like, leave me alone. It was great. It was
Uh,
real great. Ew. Okay, wait, sorry. One more thing.
yeah.
And then so when Partisan came out with his song, I think it was called like The Song or something, talking about Megan. After that, they pulled up all these old like tweets that he had put out being like, "Oh, I hope my future wife is in middle school right now." And he was a grown ass man.
What?
Yeah. So they were like, "Okay,
Why?
excuse us, we're gonna go ahead and show you about yourself." It was disgusting. It was disgusting. I was like,
See,
one, we can't have nothing nice. Two, this song is talking about everybody, truly. Megan's
yeah.
Law, truly, all of y'all, truly. And don't
Ugh.
forget, Drake was trying to slide into the DMs of Millie Bobby Brown, that child.
Yeah, I heard
Yes.
that.
I heard about that.
So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I think that there was a lot of underlying rumble from the male rappers, and they were like, Nicki, you better say something to this girl on our behalf.
She's talking about you. It's like, nah, she's talking about all y'all.
No, fake accents. Drake, you're from
Yep.
Canada.
That did
Child,
make me think of 21 Savage too, but I don't think she was talking about him, was she?
if the shoe fits, why not?
Yeah, I was like, it's too.
Everyone can get it. Everyone. She's like,
Yeah.
shots fired all around. I don't care.
Oh, but I do want to point out, love it, that like a day or so after all of that, she announces that she got signed to Columbia,
Did she?
has all of her rights and like royalties or whatever over her. No, what is it? The masters or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Her
she's like,
catalog.
yeah, her catalog. So she's technically still like independent, but she's signed. So she's like, I did it, first of my kind. I'm like, yes,
Truly. Because Nicki can't say that.
no. A lot of people can't say that.
Remy Ma explained that in her song Sheether. She's like, your money goes through 5 men before you get anything. She's like, you're getting 32 cents on a dollar. I was like, sit down, Remy, this is too hard. Oh,
yeah.
good for Megan. She deserves it all. I don't care. I don't care. She deserves it all.
I like her. I like to root for her. She seems like she just seems like someone who worked hard to get where she's at, and people are hating for that because she doesn't seem like a mean spirited person at all.
I mean, I bet she could get Bug, but
Yeah.
only only if challenged. I don't think she's going into spaces trying to fuck up people's lives, Nicki.
Exactly.
Because I feel like Nicki be targeting like she got mad at Miley Cyrus. Please, Nicki, please.
That was funny.
And I was like,
and I love how Miley felt like she was
I
gonna
don't
do
know
something.
to Miley,
Like,
what's good? Miley was like, me?
What did Miley do?
Miley
What did Hannah Montana do to her?
That's what Remy Ma said. She's like, that's Hannah Montana.
Why are we mad at her?
Leave Miley alone. Yeah, so Nicki's crazy. I'm like, girl, just sit down. Go raise your son and just go. Because enough. Enough with the antics. And some of the lines were even like her asking the Barbs for a line to insult a specific topic in the song.
Like, yeah, you literally are not writing your own shit right now. Get it together, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Foolish.
Let's dive into the topic because I really want to hear your guys' like perspective because it's been at least a year for everyone.
Of motherhood?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I want to hold on. So I want you guys to talk about two things. And obviously you can add to it, but I want you to talk about when you got pregnant, like how you're feeling, how you found out, and then the birth.
Whew, okay.
Expectations, what happened. I know Julia started talking on that.
I tightened it up.
Yeah, I was like, I'll go first.
Yes.
Get it going. Okay. So as far as finding out that I got pregnant, so as you guys know, me and Curtis went through IVF to get our little munchkin. So we did the transfer. We waited the 2 weeks, and the whole 2 weeks I was like, nah, it didn't work, right? Do the blood work. What is it called? I don't know, but we do the blood work, and she calls, leaves a voicemail, and it was so sweet. It was so nice. We ended up going out to dinner when she said that we were pregnant. It was very emotional because it took like 4 years to get there. But yeah, it was a good moment. It was very nice. And then the birth. Again, as you know, we did at home. I had my little tub. Labored for what, 3 days? 3 days? On and off, yeah. In the tub, out of the tub, in the tub. Apparently I was tightening up, so I was just like, he was just chilling in there. Heart rate never got out of hand because she kept checking him, and she's like, he's fine, he's fine. And eventually, like right towards the end, because she was like, you've got to poop. And I was like, I can't. She's like, you didn't eat your greens. And I was like, no, I didn't. And so at the very end, I get out the water, and at that next contraction, she's like, you just don't tense up. You gotta relax. Like, I don't know what that means. And so I like step out the tub, and it comes, and I just like fly, like I'm like, I just like give out because I felt like I couldn't not hold myself up without stopping. And so I like, luckily Curtis was behind me and he caught me. Yes, come through, and a little poop. And I was like, something came out, and midwife pops up. She's like, what's going on? And then I pushed for 20 minutes. He comes out with his little crazy head. Yes, it was good. Hands and knees in the living room. I'd do it again.
I know.
Yeah. A lot. I remember I was like, I don't want to do that after I heard her. I'm like, you did it for me. You did it for me. I'm like, I'd rather just go under. I don't want to do that.
Clutching her pearls.
I remember that stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was crazy. Yeah.
Well, you said, so how does it compare to what you thought it would be?
Oh, I definitely did not expect it to take 3 days. I was like, oh, I know what to expect because I did doula training. I am like completely immersed in the birth world. I did the classes, like I was on it. But I also underestimated my anxiety because I was like, this shit fucking hurts. I was like, I don't want to yeah. And so it took a lot longer. I was definitely thinking, oh, I could do this. And I was like, we should go to the hospital. I was like, this shit hurts. Like, what you got in your bag? And she's like, I don't have anything for that. Not for what you need. I was like, ah. So yeah, and I wanted to be in the water and I wasn't. But overall it was good. I got to just kind of like lurk around in my little bathrobe bathroom, the living room. And it was very peaceful because it was just us, midwife and doula. So there wasn't anyone there. And I got to just kind of like be in my zone. So that was nice. I did appreciate that. But I was just so fucking tired because I couldn't sleep. Obviously, I would like doze for a minute and then a fucking contraction would wake me up. But yeah, but it was good though. Like, retrospect, I was like, yeah, I could do this. In it, I was like, I'm never doing this again. But I'll do it again.
But that's now changed. And I would do it again. Oh, I feel like I have a similar, well, okay, so, I was like 95% sure that we just were not going to have children. Like, I was like I said, we haven't had any kind of, I was on birth control for like the longest, but I was off birth control when I was in this relationship. So, I had been off of it for like a year or 2 years, whatever, and nothing had really happened. So I was like, okay, it's just not in the cards for us to be parents. So I remember, again, I was like, I keep throwing up. I feel really weird. Like, I just feel off. Like, I'm tired. Everything sucks. And I think we were getting ready for like one of his family members' graduation or something. And I was like, let me just take a test so that I can like just shut my brain up. And then I took that test and I was like, what the hell does this plus sign mean? So, I mean, yeah, so that was like very interesting because I had been on that medication. I don't remember what it's called, but it was kind of like, she said it was like a jumpstart my uterus or something. So I had been on that for at least, I feel like it was like a year, honestly. And what she didn't say is that once you finish the doses, the likelihood of you getting pregnant is like exponential. So I was thinking I was gonna have to do more tests and kind of see and like plan shit out. And through all this time, like I had not had a period, nothing. And so I was like, this is really interesting. So we find out, I currently live in a rural area and I don't trust a lot of the providers here. They did have some midwives, but you could only give birth in a hospital. That was like the only option. So we had to go like an hour away into like the neighboring bigger town or city, to establish care out there. And I was so excited. It was going to be a water birth, blah, blah, blah. So I wake up and I'm like, ooh, I feel kind of weird. So I think we kind of like dealt with it for a little bit because what our original plan was is that once I started going into labor, we were going to book a hotel in Tucson, the closest city, so that we could go to the birthing center. So we booked the hotel, we go to the hotel. I don't even think we spent the night because I was like contracting all night or all day. I think my water had like kind of broken. And so it was just kind of like sprinkling out, which was the most annoying part of this whole thing. Is every 3 seconds it felt like I was like pissing myself. And I'm like, this is real fun. So we go to the birthing center, same kind of thing. Like I'm kind of laboring around, working through the contractions. walking outside, doing all kinds of things to like get my labor started. I think they were like measuring to see how much I had dilated, blah, blah, blah. And I was stuck at 6 for, I think, like 4 hours. And so that's when we had to kind of have the conversation of like, you're almost at the point where we can't legally let you give birth here because in their like contract or whatever, the max amount of time that you can be there for them to feel like it's safe during labor was like 50 hours or something, and we were approaching 48. And so or like 40, yeah, because I think he was born at 48, so it was probably like 46 hours or so. uh so then we had to have that conversation of like, I think you guys need to go to the hospital, and you're probably going to have a C-section. And I was like, okay. So that was terrifying. I originally did not want to go to the hospital because it's like scary and unnatural, and I don't know you guys, and this isn't a clinical thing. Like, this is just a milestone. This is childbirth. It's not whatever. Um, but there was like, oh, I feel like there was like so many layers to a birth story. My God. Um, So we get to the hospital. Luckily, I had a doula and I had gone through like the training and stuff like that. And so I knew like the procedures that they were going to want to try, like to give me Pitocin or that little monitor on the baby's head to see. I was like, listen, I know I'm contracting, but I know it's not enough to get this baby out. So let's just move forward. Um, so I had the C-section, and honestly, oh my God, that it wasn't an epidural. It was like, she's like, no, the epidural stays in. It's another one where they just like give you that shot and then they take it out or something like that. And whatever that shit was, I was like, y'all are fucking with my spine, all of my nerves. Like, okay, I'm like, I feel like I'm a spiritual person, but literally, like, there was a point where he hit a nerve or something in my back. And I literally was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna die. Like, I literally, like, in my body, I was like, oh yeah, you definitely died, but I think that I re-entered a different reality. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
it don't, but we're on board. Because truly, I was like, oh, this is it. And so I really do think that there is another reality where like Lauren is a single father with our baby, but whatever. Um, so I like low-key fainted the most. But then they cut him out. It was good because realistically, what happened was my water did break, but not fully. So he was having a hard time, and his heart rate would drop every contraction, but it wasn't coming back up. So they were like, we just need to get this baby out. And so that was kind of a blur, like after he came out. Like, I don't really remember much. But that fucking shot, man, that thing is like what I remember so vividly about like the whole process. Like, I can't remember what a contraction felt like, nothing. I just remember that sharp ass pain where I was like, oh no, I'm not okay. Um, but looking back, it was easier. Well, in a sense, you didn't have this waiting game like, will I, won't I, am I going to be able to? Like you said, that anxiety piece really does play a number. And I feel like it's a factor that doesn't get brought up enough because I was freaking out. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, is the baby getting hurt? Like, what? Everything sucks. Everything. Just everything. So it was nice to just know that in a few minutes or however long it took, because I don't really remember, the baby was going to be here. And I didn't have to worry anymore about like if it was going to happen. And so I think looking back, as much as I wanted a water birth and as much as I like thought like water makes me strong and calm and all this stuff, I think that for the peace of mind aspect, that C-section is probably going to be like my next step. And looking back, I'm like, oh God, it was terrifying. Like, it was like really, so I think that's mostly why I don't remember like after the baby coming out. Like, there was like maybe, I don't know if it's hours or days or what was between that time, but all of a sudden I'm in the like hospital room and they're like checking my vitals, and it was just it was really trippy, really really trippy. But I was so glad to have a doula there. Oh my god, I feel like she like helped me advocate for myself, and
Mm.
she made sure that like my wishes were listened to. She was attentive to like water and like snacks and stuff, like things that we were just like not paying attention to. Um, and she even met up with the person who encapsulated my placenta. She's like, I'll take it to them. So it was just, that was like really, my next birth, I definitely gonna have another doula. Definitely.
Love that. So what'd you do with the placenta?
They made it into little capsules. They dehydrate it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you took it all?
I think I still have like 15 or so. But yeah, I was taking them like pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I felt good. I'm like, I don't know if this is cannibalism, but let's go. I was like, the animals do it. Dang.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And she like even took a pic. I did not ask for this one, but because you could do like a stamp of your placenta, you can like take the cord and they like make it into the baby's name. I was like, I don't know if I want to do all that, but she took a picture of it, and I was like, oh, so I have a picture of it too, and I'm just like looking at it like it's a blob of something.
I have it. It's like she did it in a heart.
Oh, I was like, I don't know. I'm afraid my dogs will try to chew on this. Like, I don't know. I don't trust it. But those pills, man, they were popping. I felt good as hell. Right?
I love that. Janelle. So you've
Wait,
got
you want?
two.
Yeah,
So
like you
you
want to know
can
about both?
decide you want to do both or just one, but yeah.
I can do both because
Fun.
they were very different experiences.
And tell us,
So,
yeah, tell us in order so that you could see if like the first birth impacted your second birth.
oh yes,
Okay.
okay. So the first birth, um, well, I think it was just funny how I found out I was pregnant because Lorraine had to tell me take a test because
My
I started
girl.
working out. And so, if you work out a lot, you kind of just skip your period. And I'm like, all right, it's okay. Like, that's good. I'm in the zone. I mean, it's like, I'm killing it. And then I was talking to her. I'm like, yeah, I skipped my period. I'm not getting it. And she's like, you should probably take a test. Like, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't have one. So Lorraine gave it to me, gave me like one. And I'm like, it came out positive. I'm like, give me another one. And it
Thank
came
you.
out positive. And I'm like, okay, it's positive. So what do I do now? And Lorraine's like, you need to talk to like go to the doctors, probably told Joe. And so I'm like, okay. And yeah, from there I told Joe and then we set up an appointment. And with me, like I was always like, I want to be in a hospital. I'm not about home births. I feel like I don't think I'm healthy enough, in my opinion, to like birth a child. So I'd rather just have everything nearby if they need to like clear or whatever. I don't know. But my biggest thing was I wanted a doctor, a woman of color, to make sure that, she would definitely have my interests, have the best interest about my health and for my baby's health and would look out for me. So we found her and she was amazing, straight to the point, and
Dr. Sister
it
Girl.
was a pretty, huh?
Dr. Sister Girl. That's what I would always call her. I can't remember her name. I was like, yeah.
What's this the girl?
Dr. Anderson. But no, she was great. Like, for the most part, the birth the whole pregnancy wasn't so bad. I had my nausea, which was terrible, and I was super sleepy. But then that second trimester was legit. I felt like I was superwoman. I could do everything. And like I was eating everything. It was so good. It was amazing. It was just fun. It was a nice pregnancy. We did the whole gender reveal thing and it was great. As we got towards the third trimester, I was big as a house. I was huge. And what's his face was a big baby. And so they're like, yeah, if he's a big baby, your baby might be a big baby. I'm like, all right, bet, because it feels like, feels heavy, very, very heavy. So I think a couple of days after Christmas, went in for my final, like my second to last checkup, for the baby. And she's like, you got high blood pressure. We gotta check you in now. So we go in get checked in. And at this point, we were saying like, I prefer C-section, but I was open to like vaginal birth either way. Like I was good. Whatever she thought was safest, let's just do it. She's like, okay. And so we went in there at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and she gave me some medicine to help the contractions to start, let's get this baby going. And so I think what was it? I took the pill. I took a pill, and like a couple hours went by, nothing changed. They had to like check me and all that. Nothing. I was like one, if not zero. I don't know. Nothing was happening. And so a couple hours later, they shot me up instead with the medicine just to get like a more, yeah. Um, Still nothing. So we were like this for like 24 hours basically. She comes back, she checks me, she's like, all right, we're gonna do a C-section because nothing changed. I never made anything bigger for the cervix, I don't know, or yeah, area. So we go in, we get ready. She's like, yeah, we're gonna do a C-section. Joe got dressed in his garb thing. And yeah, and they rolled me out. So as we're in there, before I got rolled out, I was still in the hospital room, and the anesthesiologist came and he filled around my back to see if he can, give me what I need. He said like, I am overweight, and he filled around saying like, I don't think we can reach it or something like that, saying like I was too big. And I'm like, I know there are women who weigh more than I do and had a C-section. So right there made me upset because he was not, I don't know,
Professional. He
huh?
was a fool. He wasn't professional. He was
Yeah,
a fool.
I just feel like, okay, it didn't sit well with me. But anyways, so he said, but we'll try when we get in there. So when we got in there, I'm sitting on the table, like on the bed, bent over, and they're like shooting in the stuff.
Mhm.
And it's so painful. It's cold. It's painful. They're like, don't move. After all of that, he says, yeah, we can't get it. So we're going to put you under. And I'm like, I'm a little already like overwhelmed. I'm upset. I'm sad because like they haven't brought in um Joe yet. So like I'm just like, he's not going to be here because I'm not going to be awake. I don't think they're going to bring him in. And like, so immediately I'm laying down. They're putting the catheter. I have like both of my arms like this. They're going to say, just breathe, just relax. And they put the thing on me. And then I was out. So when I woke up, I see Joe right there. And I'm like, where's the baby? He's like, he's sleeping right now. I'm like, okay. And so like I'm just laying there. And then they rolled me back into the bedroom, and then they didn't bring him in because he was in the NICU. So I guess with him, his breathing wasn't fully developed, like the way his breathing or something, he needed help breathing. And then I guess he wasn't feeding easily. So they had to kind of do a feeding tube like the first night. So basically he was in NICU for like 5 days. And we had to go check in, like we'd be able to go visit him and feed him and, just make sure everything's okay. Cause he had to finish like a bottle on his own before they can send him home with us. So after the 5 days, he finally was able in our room, and we're getting ready to go home. And from there, yeah, it was a great journey. I was so happy to hold him and not have all these people around. Like it was just me, him, and Joe. Like it was a nice moment, and it just it, yeah. Was it ideal? No, because I think I was picturing myself if I was going to do a C-section. I would like to be awake for it and like have the baby at least like I could see him before, because like it was for 5 days. Like I was apart from him, and it sucked. And I'm like trying to heal from the C-section scar. Like and it was, oh God, just getting up and like can't sleep comfortably in a bed, and just everything just didn't feel good. And I didn't like it that much, and going through a lot of emotions. But when I finally had him, it felt right. Everything fell into place. So it was nice. Um, so compared to the second birth, um, we were trying because I really wanted Emmett to have a brother. So he wanted me to be like by himself at like family functions because not a lot of kids around, I feel like, in our family, or, just so he would have his buddy. And, I didn't want to have an only child. But yeah, so we were trying, and like, what was it? He was 8 months by the time I got pregnant again. And it was just, let's do this. This time around, it was stressful because, and I had the same doctor, not because of the doctor. The doctor was great. It was stressful because raising Emmett, marital problems. It just got a lot harder. It was a lack of support within our marriage, and the stress was at a level 20 out of 1 to 10. It was the worst. And I don't know how I got through it. I was so worried I was so worried with everything I was going through out, like with everything with Joe and just raising Edmund. I thought this baby was gonna just like so miserable when he came out. Like it was the hardest. But it did go by pretty quickly. And like I said, like was it first trimester, nauseous too. Like I was nauseous forever. I felt like this time around. It was crazy. But second trimester was awesome. Got to eat, feel super strong, did a lot. Third trimester, I'm like, oh God, it's another big baby. I can feel it. And so by the time we got to it, and I'm like, I want to do a C-section. I don't want to do a vaginal birth. I just want to just do a C-section, but I want to be awake. And that was my biggest thing. My goal was to have an anesthesiologist who will give me what I need so I could be awake to experience the birth of my baby. So and we planned it this time, we were able to do it, which is great. So we knew what was going to happen. And on the day of, because we were supposed to go, our scheduled time was like 3 p.m. So the day of, we were packing up everything, and it's just running around, getting to stuff. And I was going to the bathroom, and I wiped, and I was bleeding. And I was like, holy shit. Like, hold on, Joe, bleeding. Let me call my sister. She's like, Lorraine, I'm bleeding, but that's okay, right? You're like, you gave me like some confirmation, like it's okay, but go to the doctor, let them know what's going on, get checked in now. I was like, okay. So I told Joe, I'm like, all right, Joe, we're gonna go right now. Let's take Emmett. My mom's off soon, so she'll pick him up on her way home. We did all that. And so this time around, when we got there, I got checked in, and I was like in a little, like a triage room. Like it wasn't the actual hospital, it was like they had beds everywhere. And I'm in there, and I'm still in my regular clothes, but I could feel contractions happening. And so I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Like, no. And I think like on our way there, I started breathing. I'm like, oh, it felt like a period, like a menstrual cramp. But I'm like, no, this is intense. Like it's getting worse. And it happened like every other like 3 to 4 minutes. I was like, and I was like, okay. Just like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm feeling it. Dude, like, this is different. It's not like the other one. And so when we got there, I'm still feeling it. But it wasn't to the point like he was coming right away. So we were scheduled for 3 p.m. for the C-section. I got there around like 11. And so I just been there. So by 3 p.m., we got into we got into the room to have like the C-section. So they got me all dressed up and everything, and Joe's all dressed up, and he was outside waiting again. So when we're in there, they're like, all right, we're going to make sure that you can be awake for the birth. And so I'm punched over again. They did it again. This time, like with Julia, they fucking struck a nerve. It shot down my left entire leg to the point that I jumped off the bed almost. They had to hold me in place because, you can't move when they have that needle in your back. And he says, okay, I'm going to try something. Did it again. And they're like, don't move. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't want to move, but I'm scared if I move, like something bad's happening. So I need you guys to hold me. And I'm like crying because I'm like, I don't want to screw this up. I don't know what's going on. Finally, he's like, it's done. You're fine. So I'm like, okay. And so I'm laying down now, and I start to feel kind of good. And like, I'm like, all right. And they're like poking me, like, do you feel that? I'm like, nah, I don't feel anything. And then like Joe comes in, and he's like, hey, like, He's like, hey, I feel good. And like, I remember I was just like looking around, and then they're like, I could feel my body moving, like they're tugging, doing something. And then yeah, I heard the crying, and then they brought the baby over to me, and I saw him. I was like, and I was like, okay. And then Joe took a picture and all that. And then after that, they got him cleaned up, and then they got him set up, and they got me all closed up and everything. They wheeled me back into like the triage area. And yeah, immediately they brought him to me. I was able to breastfeed him. It was such a it and like that's why like both births have great moments and so bittersweet moments. So like I was so happy that I had him immediately, that I could hold him and like this is what I wanted, that contact, and I was able to feed him. And yeah, after that we had to wait a couple more hours to get a room, and he was in there the whole time with me. Like they would take him out sometimes to change him and stuff. But other than that, like it was a better experience because I knew he was right there with me, and so I can keep an eye on him, and like, and I don't know, it felt good. Like I was able to shush him. He heard my voice. He felt more comfortable. It was really great. And we didn't have to stay that long this time around because he wasn't in NICU. He was fine, he was feeding perfectly, breathing well. So I think like after 2 or 3 days we were out. And then yeah. But the downside was once pretty much like within 2 to 3 days, the medicine started running wearing off, and the anesthesia, and wow, what's it called?
Anesthesia? Yeah.
Yeah, anesthesia, thank you.
Once you say
But
the word the long way, you're like, wait, what's the short version of this word?
yeah, it's not the doctor, it's the stuff they put on you. But it wore off, and my left leg where
Oh.
the nerve end were just going crazy. It hurt so badly. And so
Do you
I
still
was
get a
telling the
zap?
doctor that, huh?
Do you still get a zap to this day?
Sometimes, like if it's really cold, the nerve endings will go a little off. Like whenever I
Mm.
wear shorts and the boys have cold hands, if they touch that leg, it's very uncomfortable. I have to just put on pants just to make sure I don't feel anything. So yeah, when it's
Oh,
cold, I feel it still. And that was the worst thing, I think, after the birth, after leaving the hospital. I had to keep taking these pills that weren't that great in my opinion. I don't like taking a lot of medicine. And then it made me really sleepy. I didn't want to depend on that. And then I think after what, 4 weeks, it stopped. Like the nerve ending started, like it calmed down. It balanced out, that I was able to operate again. But at the C-section, I'm still healing from. So it was just so much more things. I think I was dealing with a lot more. Again, like I said, stress outside the pregnancy, with the marriage, and then raising two babies, and how I was going to deal with that. Like postpartum from the first one, and then I got another postpartum. Like it was so much emotions, and I did not see a way out. And so that was the hardest. If I were to have another baby, though, I would just go under
just
C-section,
knock me out.
100%.
So between the two, you would not be awake.
Yeah,
Okay.
would not. I mean, just knock me out, and I'll wake up to a baby. I'm good with that.
Yeah, honestly, because even I was like, oh, same thing. You just feel your body being like tugged everywhere, and you're like, this is really like, it's an out of body experience, and I don't like to be out of control. So for me, I was like, y'all are yanking me all over the place, and I don't know what's going on because I can't see nothing. I'm looking up here, there's like a curtain, all this shit. And I had asked them, I was like, are we gonna get started soon? And they're like, we're almost done. And I was like, well, you could have told me that you were cutting me open. Yeah, it was, and I still, that shock,
Hmm.
randomly, I'll just be like, it's like a glitch.
Yeah,
Like I just glitch. It's weird. It's
yeah. No,
so
I
weird.
definitely think that's the reason why I would never do it, is because I don't trust them not to hit a nerve again. It's not. Yeah. No,
And I
thank you.
thought in the movies they make it seem like, oh, it's one shot. It's always no. He was okay. Tell me where you feel this, and I'm like, ah.
Are you kidding?
Literally,
Like,
it was like 5 times. He stabbed me like
yeah.
5 different times.
No.
Yeah, I was like, isn't
Wow.
this your job?
Let me under.
That's what I was thinking when she told me about the first guy. Like, oh, we can't find it. I was like, he's not good at his job. It has nothing to do with you. I was like,
Truly.
no.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot about the birth process that I feel like was swept under the rug. That nobody wants to like
Share
bring
that
up.
stuff. Yeah.
Because I don't think that if you would tell like young women who are starting to decide if they want to have a family, like, oh, hey, you might have nerve damage for the rest of your life. And here's this, and there's this, all that. I feel like people would be like, maybe not. Maybe this isn't the route for me because it was crazy. And then they just kept bothering you in the hospital. I can't get no sleep. This food is gross. I can't move. Y'all are monitoring my pee. Like, I'm out of here. It was a lot.
See, I didn't want none of that. That's why I stayed my ass at home. I didn't have to go anywhere. He came out. I did have bleeding though. That was one thing. It was a lot of blood. And she was like, okay, we're gonna hang up some IV. And they monitored me and all that. And then she's like, okay, you're good. And I just like got in a bed and I stayed there for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
It was nice.
Do y'all wait?
nice.
Okay. Do y'all remember like your first shower after birth?
It was at least like sometime in the second week because she was like, don't get up. So I got up to pee and that was it. I don't remember it at all though. I remember thinking like, I don't want to fall in the shower. Like I had the door open. I was like, stay close in case I fall. I don't know why I thought I would fall, but that was all I remember. Yeah.
I remember it was like, because you've been in this hospital, they had put like iodine on your stomach, like when they cut you. I feel like I had crust and we're trying to learn how to breastfeed. And oh, also, no modesty. If you're a modest person, don't go to a hospital and have a baby because your pussy's out, your tits are flapping all over the place. Like, and no one cares. I had a full conversation with my anesthesiologist while they were shaving my pubic hair with my whole pussy out.
Oh.
I was like, well,
why are they shaving you?
I'm like laying on this bed because they're prepping me. They're like, hey, we need to go. I'm laying here and he's like, oh, I'm your anesthesiologist. And I'm like, great to meet you right now. There was a stranger shaving my pubes. Cool.
Like my experience, like there was a nurse who came in and shaved like where they were gonna do the incision. And then I had my doctor, and they were always respectful of my privacy. They're like, can you come back later? I have someone here and she's not covered up. Like I really appreciated that. And
that's how it should be.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I feel bad that they didn't do that for you. Like they really did take care of me and made sure that I felt comfortable as much as I could be comfortable. Even like after, you start bleeding immediately after you had your baby. And again, like they came into the bathroom with me. They said, okay, try to use the bathroom. I'm gonna change out your pads for you. Like, so it's like give you those big pads that they gave you. I'm like legit. Like,
I like
really
those big
everything.
underwears.
Yeah, like it was like maxi pad like times 10. Like it was the best thing ever. But I remember when I took my first shower, like it was nothing like, oh my God, I could take a shower. It's like, oh, because I have to be careful and like watch out for the incision and use this. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'd rather a sponge bath. But they didn't give me that.
Oh no, I was begging. I was like, can I please get in the shower? I'm disgusting. I've been pissing on myself for the last 48 hours. Like everything sucks right now. Like I just want to be clean. And I used all their hot water, Jesus. That poor hospital. I was like, I'm using it all. Every last drop. I hope y'all didn't want to wash your hands. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, that was like no modesty. They didn't give a damn. I feel like I was talking to a nurse about my urine output while like the breastfeeding specialist came in and was like flopping my titty out. And I was like, they were like trying to show me how to breastfeed. Well, they were just like, come on, and I was like, all right, I guess everyone in the room can stay here while this is happening. No modesty. I was booty butt ass naked in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Literally getting my pubes shaved in front of my anesthesiologist. And I
My
think like,
mind is like,
yeah, the doula, everybody was up in there. They didn't care. They're like, we have things to do, ma'am. Your modesty, we don't care about that.
last on the list.
Literally, they did not give a fuck. I was like, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
Are you going to the same place or somewhere different?
So I don't know. I think because we're not going to do the water birth, I think we'll probably go to like the same hospital. But again, we haven't like this is just I'm just incubating a baby. I have no like thoughts about what's happening. Like it's just happening. And I think because they like his family just texted us because there's like 2 other people in his family that are pregnant right now too. And they're like,
Contagious.
like we all fucking on the same day. But I was like, but they were like, oh, when are you guys doing the baby shower? And I was like, I have to do that again? Wait, what? I don't.
Baby sprinkle. Because you still have the same stuff, right?
Yeah, I was like, I pretty much have everything. So.
I mean, you could just be like, send me diapers and send me what, formula? Are you gonna formula or breastfeed?
Well, I actually did really well breastfeeding. I honestly think it was the placenta pills because I was producing really well and consistently. It was just another thing that I had on my list of things to do. And I was like, I've been without my meds for a very long time. And so selfishly, at 6 months, I was like, sorry, baby. Mama
That's
needs
not
her
selfish. Well, I mean,
it felt selfish.
selfish in a good way, though.
Yes.
I feel like you give being selfish a bad rap. Like, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, it's that self-care coming in then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Girl,
truly was. I was like, Mama needs her meds. So you gonna have to learn to like formula. But I think looking back though, I would definitely be more proactive with the pumping because you can get so well, I was able to get so much overflow if I was like consistently doing it. And for me, I didn't realize like I mean, I realized the importance, but I didn't put as much emphasis on that. I was like, I need to sleep. I don't want to be touching my boobs right now. Like I'm done. And I would always use the pump machine too. Um, so I think this time around, I'll probably be like, I'll probably have a supply and like a backup supply so that even though I stop at 6 months, he might be able to keep going for a couple more. So that's like my goal for this round.
Yeah, that's good.
You said you were able to breastfeed, right, Janelle, in the hospital?
It was easier the first time around, but like the first day Jensen came into the world, I was able to do like straight from the nipple, and he drank for like 45 minutes. And then after that, whenever I tried again, he just wasn't taken to it. I'm like, that's okay. At least he got some breast milk. I feel like that's
a little taste.
A little taste. And then so we did bottles after that because I don't have time.
Yeah, I remember the initial latch was perfect, and then after that, I was like, it's not working, and I went to pumping sooner than I probably should have. I think if I kept it just breastfeeding, I think I would have had a better experience, but I was just so tired.
And it's
but I think next time I'm going to do both. I'm going to breastfeed, delay the pumping, but also have formula because I want to sleep. And I think doing it at the same time, I think that's going to be my next try.
And I think it was hard too, like feeding from the nipple because it was like you could only do that. So it's not like your partner or a family member or somebody could step in and do this feed because it has to come from my titties. Like, no, it's impossible. So I did like when I introduced the pump because I was like, oh, hell yeah, there's milk up in there. Y'all have the bottles. Let's go. Mama's going to sleep. Yeah, definitely. Oof. And can you believe that was like a year ago?
It seemed longer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yours 8 months and then 2 years. Feels like yesterday. I literally could feel like what the sheets felt like at the hospital. Like
Mm.
I couldn't wait to get out of there, child. I was like, "Can I leave yet? When can I leave?" They're like, "You gotta pee this much." I was like, "Perfect, let's go." I couldn't wait to leave. Oof. I like that topic.
You should just come out in May or June and have the baby here.
Oh, and see, okay, so we moved all the time growing up. And like, I don't know what a real timeline is because of that. My mom would show up and be like, "We're moving this month." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, here we go. So I feel like for me, I'm like, I should be able to be there in 3 months. But everybody else around me is like, 3? That's all? You don't want like 8? And I'm like, is that like what's the normal time to move? Like how much time do you need?
Well, I mean, it depends on what type of movement you do. Are you renting or are you buying? Because I guess when you're buying something, it does take a little bit longer for everything to go through the process, of closing and all that jazz. But if you're renting an apartment or a house, it doesn't take that long because
That's
it's
what I'm
already
saying.
ready to go,
I was
right?
And
like,
it's
I don't
like
need none of this shit.
that part. And I think that's where people get stuck. They're like, you got to move everything. It's like, do I though? Do I?
I mean, I got all this off Facebook Marketplace, so can I just do that again in Texas?
Yeah. Like, put that shit back into the universe and just start over. Like,
Yeah. Why should I schlep all this? For what? I don't like it, no way.
yeah. Well, we'll talk after, and
Yeah.
we gonna make some because I'm actually looking at houses on Monday.
Ooh, love that.
Yes, 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 yes,
I love
yes.
that.
Okay. I love the stories. You guys are much better storytellers than I am. But you guys had really good ones.
It's because a lot happened, bro. It's because we
Yeah.
were effects. People play with our emotions in our faces while we having a contraction. Shut
Yeah.
up. Oh yeah, he was trying to. I was like, I'm about to have a contraction. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just try. I'm like, I can't not move. Like, fool, I'm gonna have a contraction. I'm not gonna just sit hunched over. Like, they tried it. They really tried it. Oh. Oh, I guess it's my turn, huh? We got to talk about a question.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the end. It's like a game from the Skin Deep, which is an excellent channel on YouTube. A lot of really good, interesting conversations, the hard stuff, if you will. But this is actually from the amusing edition. You see? Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick one at random. Ooh, I like this one. Okay. How has the way you deal with conflict changed over time? Ciao.
All right. I'll go first.
That's a good
For
one.
me, I am I am notorious for cutting people off. Like at any sense of uh you did me wrong, it's like you're dead to me. And then time will pass. I'm like, hey, come back around. Burned a lot of bridges. But now I think the social work in me is like, let's talk it out. Like I'm more patient. I have a lot more understanding. But man, like I'm like, you're you're cool. Like I think I'm a lot better now. But I do think that's why like my relationships are few and far between because I'll be cutting people off left and right.
There's not
Yeah,
enough time in this universe. There's not enough time for us to be dealing with nonsense. So I get it.
that's true.
Do you know you want to go?
Okay, so it's saying how I deal with conflict. Like,
Yeah. How has that changed over time?
I don't know if it's changed. I mean, I feel like just recently, yeah, I have to say, yeah, like I think I've dealt with conflict pretty much the same way since I was like a teenager till the end of my marriage because I'm a hothead. And if I know that you are wrong and you are unable to see what I see, I can take fault, but I need you to also take fault because I refuse to be the only person wrong in a situation. Because most likely, when you're in an argument with someone, if you're the only one taking fault, they think they did nothing wrong and they will definitely do the same thing that got you pissed off in the first place again. So I realized though, with my hot headedness and the need to be right and demanding for them to have fault, to admit they have fault, was not a good mixture. And it did not help us finding a solution in our arguments. So I am trying to be more patient, understanding, and just be the bigger person. But in a way, hopefully, if we talk it out, there may be some recollection on both sides how we were wrong. But that's how I've changed in like the last couple months. I'm not perfect. I do sometimes backslide, but hopefully, I can jump, on the right path again of, finding a solution with these conflicts.
And the fact that you're recognizing that you still got work to do means that you're not completely closed off to the fact that there's work to do. You're not like, well, I'm fucking perfect, so everyone else can suck it. So good for you. Growth.
Growth.
Okay. That's what it's called. Actual definition. I think with me, I didn't like to deal with conflict at all. I would shut down. I'm gonna ignore the fuck out of you. I don't care if we're sharing the same house, bed, bathroom, car ride. I will be quiet. I don't care. And I think that I've realized, I'm like, well, that only really hurts me because I'm sitting here stewing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, even though it's difficult, and even as a social worker, like, I can deal with conflict that don't involve me, of course. But if it's like direct, you and me have problems, like, that's killer. And even though I'm nervous, even though I'm uncomfortable, I feel like talking and communication really is the only way to navigate through this like uncertainty. And so I tried really hard to not shut down like I would typically. I mean, I still do. I definitely will be like, don't talk to me for 2 days because I need to get my life. And I mostly just need to like get my thoughts together because sometimes my brain goes like left and it interprets things in a way that's negative for that person, but maybe won't interpret my behaviors as like negative. Preservation. So I feel like I definitely try to over communicate now, even though it's really hard, even still. But yeah, before I didn't deal with not a damn conflict. Now I'm like, bring it on, kinda. Let's try it. I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Proud of us. Look at us healing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's close it out with our mom rant, mom hack.
Or a win. Win.
Win and a win. Or a win. Okay. Julia, you go first.
Okay. Let's see. I was thinking about this a lot actually this last couple of weeks. Like, I just like how disrespectful the doctor's offices are. Like, you take your baby in, a sweet tiny little baby, and they're like, oh, he's so cute and small. Let's give him 6 injections.
No! For the vaccinations?
Yeah. I'm like, y'all don't got a pill form. He had to get 6 injections. I'm like, his legs are not that like. So yeah, I was like, you can't miss them.
Yeah, usually they combine them.
So they're like, okay, mom, and we're just gonna need you to hold him down. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, and we're just gonna, and I'm like, so you feel like oh God, it's the fucking worst. Because your little baby's looking at you like, why the fuck are you letting this lady stab me to death? And you're holding me down? Like, I literally was like, I'm gonna fight you when we're done. Like, this lady is gonna get a boxing.
Yeah.
It was
Awful.
horrific. And they were like, well, we could give him 3 today, but then we'll just have to have him come back in a month and do another 3. And I'm like, so I'm just delaying the inevitable? And they're like, yeah, most moms would just do them all at once. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. So I'm like, that's my rant. Like, can y'all medical professionals? There's no way that you're gonna stab an adult 6 times. So
That
why is
part.
it okay for a baby? Because they're gonna forget it? Shut up.
Yeah.
First trauma right there. Gosh,
Right
I'm gonna have to
there.
deal with this in therapy later.
thank
Thanks.
you. He's like, I don't know. I just don't like no one touching my legs. Poor, I know. I was like, I'm a terrible mom. These people are assholes.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, the last one he had, because it's probably the same like year shots. It was 3, but it's because there was like multiple in each one.
No, they're like, we can't mix them. We can't mix these. I'm
Ooh, they
like,
lying.
6 shots.
Mm-mm.
I was like, you know what? And I can't hit you. Like, I can't, like, at least
It's
my
funny.
son needs to see me trying for you. Oh, God. So, yeah, I was like, you know what? Fuck them. They're just being lazy. Y'all could figure out something else. Why don't we put a little patch? Something. I'll put a patch on for a month. I don't care. Like, please. But stabbing him, you're not doing that to me. So,
Mhm.
anyways, yeah, that's my
Oh,
rant
baby.
for this. I know.
uh, Janelle.
Oh, I got a rant. So, like, what I'm talking about daycare. Now, my 9-month-old, sure, 2 weeks ago, he had some heavy diarrhea. He was having blowouts and everything. And so, after the third blowout at daycare, they're like, yeah, you can't bring him back for 24 hours if, without having diarrhea. I'm like, okay. And so, like, he was with me that day, and I got stuff to do. Like, I had schoolwork, I need a break if I've been up all night. I can't be doing this 24 hours. It gets hard. And so, like, I'm with him and he's having his blowouts, but like they're not that bad. And just like let it run through system. So this week he was having loose bowel movements, but it wasn't as bad as it was before. It was still within the diaper, so just change it and move on with your life. No, he had like, if he still wore the same clothes that he came in that morning, he's fine. But they're like, yeah, he had 3 loose bowel movements, so he can't come back until I'm like, oh. And you got to pay weekly. It ain't cheap. And I'm like, what am I paying y'all for then? Because he's been with me out of the 14 days, or was it 10 days, like at least 7 to 8 days he was with me. So I'm just trying to understand, like, can I get a credit? Because like he's fine. He just has diarrhea sometimes.
He's
Like, I
got
don't
the
know what to do
shit.
for you. Like, he
It
ain't sick.
happens.
Yeah, he's a baby.
So I think, yeah, and I think everyone, like any parent, who put their kids in daycare, and all of a sudden daycare got these policies like, oh, if your kid's sick, don't bring him in. But I'm pretty sure it's one of the little kids in the daycare got him sick in the first place. Like, they don't have a social life unless this place is. So, like, I don't know what to do for you. But yeah, it really hits me because like it wasn't that bad diarrhea. Sure, it was loose, but like it was getting better compared to last week. And it's just, ugh,
And
you
I
can't
hate
give
when
me
they
anything.
they use those keywords like a blowout or
Mm-hmm.
oh he's temperamental because it's like the buzzwords to be like yeah they need to get out. Because
Yeah.
I'm like
They
because a
gotta
blowout
sell
is
it.
what comes out, it blows out of the diaper, not
Yeah.
it blows and is contained. That doesn't make any sense. That's just shit.
I feel like, yeah, I think if he's in the same clothes, we're good. I wasn't like, we're good. Just clean them up and keep them. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what to
Don't call
But yeah,
me.
that's my rant. Like, I'm just over that. Like,
And it's
Mhm.
yeah.
like, what can you do? It's not like there's like a backup daycare just hanging out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just took all my
So
money. I
fuck me,
have no
right?
one else to pay.
Right? No more money.
Did they say they'll give you a credit or no? They're like, no, sucks to be you.
We didn't ask. I don't see that happening because
You
they
know how
always
much
have
money they would lose?
and yeah, and like I'm sure it's in the policy, blah 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 blah. Because I know actually they say they do a credit during the 6 seasons, like when people are sick, like
Mhm.
between November and December or something like that.
Oh.
So they gave
Well,
us
it's
a
global
credit
warming,
during that
so
time.
move those months over to now.
You know,
It's
they gave
literally
us a credit.
snowing outside in February. Like, come on.
It should be like PTO, like you get 2 weeks for the year.
Mhm.
If you didn't use
That'd
it
be nice.
in the cold season, like can I use it in spring? Like
Yeah, when they're sick, like, who cares if it's not cold season and he didn't get sick? Okay,
yeah, they're still sick. Still not
but
coming
you
in.
need.
Send it to
But
me.
it's interesting that childcare is so freaking expensive, but then they don't value stay-at-home moms. Like, make it
Yep.
make sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're charging people
It's the
literal
cost of
rent
a
prices.
whole apartment. Like I'm supposed to be able to afford 2 homes, but also not
I
stay
have no
home.
value if I
Like I
just stay
can't go to
home.
work to pay for this. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's garbage. It's actual garbage out here in these streets.
Mhm. Okay, well, I'll close it out. I actually have a mom win
Ooh.
because we just finished week 2 of daycare for Lilo, and that shit was rough because he cried. He cried when I dropped him off. He would cry throughout. He would cry when I picked him up. She was like,
Oh.
yeah, he would be playing and be fine, and then suddenly it's like he would remember and just start crying. She's like, it would surprise me. It was startling, and I was like, okay. But this week, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, he still cried when I dropped him off. But when I picked him up, he wouldn't cry. And she was like, he had a great day. He was playing, he ate. So we're moving, it's getting better. And I think he's like understanding, like, okay, I'm going to play for a little bit. I'm going to hang out with Miss Hoda, and then we going home. So
But my mama's coming back.
yes, yes.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Curtis dropped him off and was like, he's crying. And I was like, yes, he does that. Leave him. He's fine.
Don't bring them back.
Don't bring him back. Like he texted me as if I was gonna be like, oh, okay, okay, he can stay home. No, 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 no. Get your
Bye.
kisses in and leave.
Get your kisses and just walk away.
Put those headphones in. Let's go.
Be strong.
So like our childcare is a little different. Like he goes to stay like with a family member,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay, does okay with that? But I'm worried like if I have to put him in daycare, how's this baby gonna react? Like, that's for future Julia to deal with that.
Yeah. Whatever happens, just be strong. That's all I got for you. Cause
Oh, and I wanted to read that motivational um, thing for us to send us off.
Yes, please.
um, since we were talking before we started filming that it's the Lunar New Year today. And so I found this thing like, oh, how do you wish someone happy Lunar New Year? And this is a wish or like a quote to send to a loved one. Okay. So sending happiness your way in the year of the dragon. May the magic of the Lunar New Year be with you always. I
I
was
like that.
like, yes. So just like take that with you into this next week.
I like that. Take the magic. I love that. The magic.
It's so like, oh, like wait, nobody just says that. Like that sounds amazing. Live in this magic. I like that. We did it.
We
Awesome,
did.
guys. Yes.
Tune in again.
All right. Same time, same place next week.
I'm down.
Pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
What?
Air
Like
horns,
pipe
air horns.
sound.
All right, hoes. Bye.
Me.
Bye.